Hello, and welcome in again to another exciting edition of our KEDC Empower Ed Talks here for our podcast. I'm Jim Caldwell, and today we are talking more about our upcoming AI Summit. And our AI Summits, we're trying to get more and more folks interested and out to our event because, listen, it's going to be an exciting time. It's going to be a big deal and a lot of great information. If you've got questions, this is the time to come and ask them because we're going to have representatives from all over the place. And one of our speakers, our keynote speaker, is no stranger to all of this, and he travels all around doing all kinds of fun stuff. Before I bring him on, I'm going to show you his. I'm going to show you something that his video. Now, this comes to us straight from YouTube, so let's check it out right now.
Magical phrase, go. Yeah, let me see it. Yeah, that's it. That's good. I was sharing lots of buff nuggets with him. Boom, right here. His purple shirt. There's a guy right here. All right, there you go, sir. Hey, give him a hand, everybody. That's super cool. He was fast. To raise our hands, that's cool. But we're going to do something with music. Blow that thing, girl. Woo! Y'all still dancing? You just want to dance. Got the disco lights on you, it looks like. I want to make today memorable and something exceptional that you couldn't get online. Something like we feel something together. Because how are we maximizing our space together right now? I want to hear some things that can't be Googled. And I need a few volunteers. I do have some shirts though. It says I teach things that can't be Googled. You desperately want something. I know you do, ma'am. So she stands. So you tell me, what is something you provide? What's something you teach that can't be Googled? Love. Love is something that cannot be Googled. Thank you so much. This is for you. Woo! Give that to her, please. Yeah. He's doing a physics lesson, and the cups are supposed to stay still, and the water just flies out all across kids' faces. That's a teacher fail. But you know what? Some of you can't see it, but look at the kids' faces. They've got stories for days because they have a teacher who takes chances and tries new things and is vulnerable. Your quirk is important. Woo!
So excited to bring Brian Buffington on with us right now. Brian, thank you so much for joining us and being a part of the KDC AI Summit. Now, this is you're all over the place. There's no doubt about that. You're traveling and you're doing events like that, and you're here doing this event for us. Before we dig into what we just watched, tell us a little bit about you, your story, and why you're doing this now.
Hey, man, I come from the middle school world, middle school teacher in South Georgia. South Georgia, you know, I guess if you're from Kentucky, you're like, you know, Georgia. What is South Georgia? It's just not Atlanta. It's like we're way down there, rural parts of Georgia, where I figured out really fast that whatever I was doing originally as a teacher was not working. I don't know if there's anybody whoever's listening to this may be you. You're doing something, it's not working. And I had to have a quick little chat with myself and some people who were smarter than me and realize that I needed to make learning like much more experiential. And you saw that in that video, Jim, and that's what I'm after. And Jim, I'm gonna mail you a shirt because I don't get to do these all the time. This is a wonderful opportunity because when I say experiential, this is what I mean. I mean this. Like I teach things that can't be Googled. Like answering the question, why come to class? That's like I'm coming to class because I can get something that I couldn't get anywhere else. Yes, I could do a module online. Yes, I could do all these things. But when I go to class, I get to experience something that's very unique. All the people there together, all my friends, my teacher, we're making something special and awesome. So how does AI play in that? We'll get to that in a second. But I taught middle school, and then I had someone, Jim, it's really cool how this works out, man. I had somebody like say, hey, Brian, you're doing some cool stuff with technology. It's just kind of something I got interested in as a kid. I was a science teacher, and we were using these dinosaur computers, the big ones that like it could be weaponized. They're so big. And I had these science probes that my principal purchased for me because leaders, you listening? I had a leader who saw potential and said, I'm not giving up on this man. He's a terrible teacher, but I think he's got something. And so he enabled me to purchase these probes in which I could these instruments I could put on skateboards, and the kids would run down the hallway, and they would collect data, and they'd come back on these fat laptops, and I'd have some kind of weird internet. You had to hook up yourself. Like you just had to turn it on. You had to crank it up, I guess. And then my students, it's crazy. They started to want to actually come to class. Apathy, which is a common topic when I talk to educators, and it's like, man, how do you deal with apathy? It's like, man, I don't have the perfect prescription for that, but it started to be just much more care. Like students cared more, and the secret sauce really was me kind of taking the back burner and letting them make the messes. Is very non-traditional, like where I was growing up, because you had the teacher, and it was like compliance, which we all want compliance. I need compliance, but I wasn't getting any, and so I had to try something else, and this seemed to work. And so then, since I was the geeky guy, someone said, hey Brian, show my other teacher friends how you do your tech magic. And then this is the highest compliment praise I ever got, Jim. Someone said, Brian, that training wasn't that bad. And in the world of professional development, that's super high praise, man. And so so I'm going all in, man. And so I started working with a co-op, kind of like KEDC in Georgia, where I learned how to work with adults, which is different than working with children. But we don't give up on the childlike nature that's within. Like I brought this out here for you guys. And Jim, you can interrupt me anytime you want, man.
You keep going. I love listening.
So I'll bring a shark hat, a shark hat to a professional development, because I don't believe I have all the greatest ideas. I have some, but I want to spotlight other people who have great ideas. And we do like a little Shark Tank. And so we wear this. And it's really just a funny way that we can look at our peers and laugh at them at their expense. It's just a good time, man. Actually, my wife, she works with students with emotional behavior disorders, and she took this with her students, and it was really amazing. Her feedback, she said, you know what, my students really have a hard time with a lot of things, but for some reason, when they put the shark hat on, it was like some walls came down. It was like they were willing to kind of let some stuff go. Students with behavior disorders, some of the listeners know what I'm talking about. They just let some stuff go, and we had a good time. We had people smiling and laughing and learning and playing. So childlike faith, childlike nature, I think it's a beautiful thing, and I'm all about. I don't know if y'all could tell, already I'm into it. A little bit of Peter Pan. Okay.
Well, I wasn't going to say that. That wasn't where I was going to go. But just think of it like this. What do we remember? We remember the really happy times in our lives, and we remember the really sad times in our lives. We remember those two extremes. We can recall those with great detail. The day I got my driver's license, I can tell you, I can walk you through every mistake I made. I was so happy. So being happy, having a good time, that can enhance that memory, and it's something that sticks out with you. That's the way I look at stuff like this, and that's why you're going to be such a good time for all of these folks that come out to our AI Summit.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're perfect. That's what I was going to say. You're just perfect to fit this role.
Well, that's what Miss Buffington says. She says I'm perfect. So that's y'all know that's true.
Okay.
Now, what's funny about that video you showed is, that's Kentucky. I've had the great privilege of being in Kentucky with some different events, but this is my KEDC exclusive.
Oh, this is the debut. for kids.
So it's, I mean, my granddad said you only get one first impression. And so this will be it. I mean, this is going to be off the chain. I don't even know if people even say that phrase anymore, but 6, 7, I don't know. It's going to be awesome.
I still don't know what any of that means. I mean, I know what off the chain means. Because, you know, we're older than that, or old enough to know what that means. But it's the other stuff. 7. So when somebody comes to the show, they saw the video, they see what you do. Now, how do we incorporate that into how we can teach our students and prepare them for, let me just go ahead and say this, for AI in the classroom?
I want to touch on this in a couple ways. You know, first and foremost, when I think about tech usage, I think about AI usage, I want to start with the teacher. The teacher now has this ability, has this tool that can help him or her brainstorm or try an idea or just like expound on something at a much higher rate or much more efficient than a Google search. Like we've all been Google searching for a long time, and that's been okay. It's been fine, but it's never been this personalized. And so I'll give you one example. And it's really, this is about, again, I want to help educators use AI. Let's be very clear. Educators use AI to create the most fun, as legally possible, joyous learning opportunities for their students as they can. And right now, to ask a teacher to develop something from scratch or whatever, I think that's bogus. Like it's just, and some teachers do it all the time, just out of their heart, out of their free time. And they just ain't got a lot more time. I need you to have more time because I need you to take care of yourself and your brain and your family. And I want you to come to school refreshed. And I think AI can help us do that. But it's not just like, save me some time so I can not be human anymore. How do we use AI to be even more human? Let that sink in. Let that sink in for a second. How can we be more human in this new AI world? And so I'll give you an example. If you've ever been to a restaurant, maybe some of you have children, and they provide you with a mat, like a little placemat, and it has little games for them to play, and they give you the crayons, and your kids, like, they lose them and they fall over, whatever, you know, those things. It's childlike, it's fun, it's active, it's on an iPad, you know. I thought to myself, what if I could make something like this, but for teachers? Like when I go to events, and this is something brand new for me. Like, so when I go to an event, how can I maybe give them like some kind of like really cool interactive thing where people touch paper? We call it touching grass in 2026. It's like, I'm just tired of looking at a screen some days. Using AI to look at a screen less, right? It just blows our brain. We can't even fathom, right, Brian? You're insane. I used AI. This is exclusive to the podcast world, to create a custom placemat just to brainstorm, where people, this is huge, this is 18 by 12, where you could have this at one of my workshops, and it's got little things for you to do. Like you could take your notes, and you can, how to network with, you write down some people you met at the conference, and doodle, because I think doodling's cool. Connecting, you know, pencil to paper is probably good for your brain and a neuron or something. Making a mess. It's just, this thing's beautiful. And here's the ticket. That's just the brainstorming part, because I just had an idea. Teachers, you have an idea? I'm going to flex here for a second, but I also want to give some love to my human artist friends. I have a friend who's an artist. I brainstormed this with AI, but you know what? I want him to actually make the final design with his heart, his magic, and make something that AI couldn't. You get my drift? I'm going to give you one more example of this, about using AI to create experiences and to make things personal and relevant and fun, and not just have us all looking at computers all day. Like, I feel like our students have to know how to use computers. We'll eventually have to know how to use AI. And that's my second part, students. So don't let me forget, Jim. That's coming up. But here's the thing. I was with a teacher on Zoom like you, Jim. She came to hang out with me, and she loves the Savannah Bananas. And she said, Brian, I love the Savannah Bananas. They're awesome. They're so cool. And I'm teaching young kids, 4th, 5th graders about math, gen ed, about math and decimals. And we've been doing that forever. So what if I could combine my passion for Savannah Bananas with decimals and math? Because that's statistics. This, all the batting average and hits and all that kind of stuff. And so what she did is she created a custom curriculum based on her love of the bananas. She has teams in her class. She has like the fire, because there's different teams of the Savannah Banana League. There's like the firefighters. There's like the party starters, the bacon eaters. I don't know, all kinds of little teams. But each team in her class, there's like 4 kids in a team, and they all compete, like doing all these little games and doing math and activities. But it's very human. She creates paper guides for them to actually do activities and work together in groups and talk and collaborate. And it's, what I'm saying? This isn't like we're just all heading over there and creating robots to teach us. This is some beautiful stuff, guys. And I put this on my YouTube channel. This is phenomenal. If you really want to know how teachers are being creative with the use of AI, and they're creating human to human high value experiences, that's the greatest one. Like recently I put on my YouTube channel. So please go check that out. So before we go to part 2, Jim, what do you think? Think people at KDEC, they want some of those kind of nuggets? Because I bring buff nuggets.
But you bring as many buff nuggets as you can possibly fit in your brain and share with the rest of us, and spread all that stuff out. Because again, this is the stuff that matters. This is the stuff that connects with people.
Yeah, man. That's all I want to do. I want students to connect. I want them to come to class. And I think just using prescriptive software or maybe just staring at screens but not being very purposeful about it is some of the bad press that education is getting. Just being real with everybody. It's just, and I don't want that. Like I have a kid in high school. I have one just graduate, and I preach it all the time. It's like, hey, you got to go do, you got to go make, you got to talk. These human things are super valuable.
The communication aspect, you're absolutely right. I also spoke with our spotlight speaker who's going to be at the conference. You'll meet her too.
Awesome.
Dr. Jordan Carmack, and that's what she is preaching. That's what she's a communications expert, and that's what she's talking about. You still got to communicate. You still got to do these human things, just like what you're talking about. All right, let's get to this in education part of this. All right, do you feel like we are teaching students for the future or for the past right now? It's tough, isn't it?
Well, let me really kind of grasp this for a second. I think when one-to-one came out, one-to-one technology, and this has to do a lot with federal funding, COVID. We said, you know what, this is a beautiful thing. Everybody can get a device, and really, even I'm not even talking about AI yet. We're saying, this right here, this is the future. But what we didn't realize is that we have many students who still needed the things I just talked about in phase 1 as the teacher using it, creating these experiences and things. And I think our students, we use too much technology too early. We do a disservice because we allow students. Now this is the one you want to make a bookmark, Jim, when you post a clip somewhere, okay? We allow students to offload critical thinking and creativity to a machine when they are not yet at a high enough level or an expert in an area. And that's what's really not preparing our students, because our students desperately need to be flexing and straining and hurting every single brain muscle and physical muscle that they can, and getting bigger and better and stronger, smarter, because many are just hitting a button saying, hey, do this thing for me. Because when our students get older, and I don't have the exact time frame for this. I'm not a brain scientist, but when our kids are older, maybe a junior or senior, and they have some expertise in an area, they're proficient in writing or to a certain level, then they say, you know what? Now I can use AI to help me spruce up some of these ideas. I have an idea. How can I maybe make it different or make it a little bit better? But I still want to be careful. I want to be careful with that language too. Just because AI makes something doesn't mean it's better. So the fear is students, and it's not just AI, it's just technology in general, because we like tools. Jim, I don't know if you have a car or not, but I have a car. It gets me to places, and tools are really nice. They help us obviously get places. But you know what it doesn't do? It doesn't help my body move a lot because I'm just sitting in a car all day or I'm on a plane. And then if I'm not real strategic about it, I lose some health, and that's the same kind of idea. Like, tools are great, but at what expense? And so it's got to be the mix, and it can't be too early because the kids they got to build it. They got to build this thing. This is a very, very beautiful thing. They got to build it before have access to the tools. Because like many people, Jim, just like me, if I'm presented with the right opportunity, I'm like, I'm going to skip that step because I don't want to. It's going to make me hurt. I don't want to do it. I'm going to skip that step. Adults do it all the time, but our students need it. They need those steps.
I don't, I've got this weird thing where I don't like to go out to the mailbox every single day and get the mail, because I know I have that. I don't know if you've seen it. It's the USPS preferred delivery, and I get everything I get for my mail is in my email, so I can see. It's not actually the letter form, but I can see screenshots of it, and I'll look and be like, oh, that's from the IRS. I don't really want to look at that right now. We'll just put that off we'll put that off for another day or so. But you're right. If it hurts and you don't want to do it, you won't do it. You're absolutely right. So you make perfect sense there. What do you think as we continue in this AI age, and you've been around a little more than I have, especially you're seeing it firsthand a lot in different places. Do you think there's a big mistake that schools are making out there when talking about AI? Do you think that some are not talking about it enough to make the children understand that this is a big deal? This is the future. There's no going back. Or do you think they're talking too much? I mean, what do you think after what you've seen so far?
I do get the great privilege of going all over the place, man. There's people, and there's people who are like, they have like an AI person on their staff. They've got people who are like, you know what? I heard about this AI stuff. Like, I don't know what, we should do about it. And, and I think it also it creates some pressure. So you got people listening right now, and there's like, hey man, I got pressure. I feel like I don't know. I heard that there's a teacher down at, in Northern Kentucky, and he knows 5 AI tools, and he's like programming social studies games and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, man, I don't know how to do that. And maybe you feel bad about it. Like, I think schools are everywhere. School districts are everywhere with this stuff. All I ask of students and adults is to level up. It's just like wherever you are in life, level up in your personal use. And as for district use, I would be very, very deliberate and purposeful about AI conversations, about policy. Got to have policy, because you have students using it. I know some teachers, they say, you know what, I can't have students write, high school teachers mainly, I can't have students write papers at home anymore because it's just too hard to police. He or she just gave up. She's like, I'm not doing that. We'll just write all my papers in class. We'll write papers in class, and we're just making the most, like we already talked about, we're making the most of class time and our time together. And, and I'll be really upfront about my high school experience. My writing at home, it wasn't really that great anyway. So I don't know if it matters. Like, sure, I might some students get a lot of practice at home. They like to do it there, but it's hard to enforce. And so these different policies, these different strategies, and we just have to have these conversations. We have to have summits like this AI Summit at KEDC, because this is what we desperately need. Because I don't work every day in Kentucky, and Kentucky kids or Kentucky families or wherever your region is, everybody's just a little bit different. Like, you want to serve your district, your community, like the best way you can. Like, I think that's like the greatest kind of school. You're taking care of your people. You see things happening over here in this other state, and you're like, yeah, that's fine, but we want to take care of your people. And so just kind of seeing whatever the need is there. It's like, hey, we have this new, I'm just giving you for instance here. We have this new industry coming into town, and they're going to employ 1,000 people. And they want, and this is a fact. I don't show a lot of data in my presentations, but this is my favorite kind of data, and that's based on the World Economic Forum. These are surveys sent out to major employers in the world, and it's got all the top stuff. Like, this are the top surveys of skills they want employees to have. And AI and big data is like it's projected to be like number 5 or number 3 in the next few years. It's like number 10 already out of like 100 plus things. And AI really has just come on the scene in the way it is now. So those are the kind of conversations we're having. Like, when it comes to schools and local school districts, is, hey, how can we best serve our students for success? I mean, I don't have a job if it's not for students, and nobody here. We're not even doing this if it's not for students having success. And we could definitely pause, really think about, and have different conversations and people, but also just I'll be cautious too, man. Just be cautious.
That makes a lot of sense. You do have to tread lightly on anything new or controversial or whatever. And that's the thing, you hear about protests that when people are getting mad about data centers going in, and then you hear the people that are mad that the data centers aren't going in. So, I mean, it's just like with everything else, we all can't get along long enough about everything. You're absolutely right. You mentioned a little earlier, you were talking about how you brainstormed with AI to come up with your little placemat there.
Mm-hmm.
And during your sessions, you talk a lot about creativity or really creation over consumption is kind of the key.
Yeah, man.
And let's dig a little bit deeper into why that is so important right now. Like, just hit a whole run for us.
I think there was a time where the smartest person in the room was the person who knew the most stuff, who had the library of information in their head. And in my time, I graduated 2000. I don't know if you could tell, but 2000. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Class 2000, yes.
2000 grads, and we thought the world was going to end. But the smartest friends you knew at that time was just people who knew a lot of things. They were great to have at trivia and these kind of things. They're still fun to have at trivia, by the way, people who know stuff. But then we also had the internet. And so you could find out anything you wanted, really, in year 2000. You could still find out anything you wanted. But the main issue was it wasn't in your pocket. And so that's when 2007 came and the iPhone was out, and it said, hold my Kool-Aid, because I've got one for you. We're going to level up. So take that internet thing. We're going to put it in your pocket, and you can know anything at any time, and take now 2026. Like, I'm about to go do some work in Panama, the country of Panama, not Panama City. What? Not that one, but like Panama, the country. I'm going with a mission team, and we're going to make eyewear for this wonderful people, the Kuna people. But even them, in their thatch roofed houses, huts, no plumbing, no running water, on these little islands, they have access to the internet, to the world. I'll go beside, it's just dirt floors. I'll walk beside a tent. Someone's like watching Michael Jackson videos. It's so awesome. But it just made me think, like, anybody like anybody can learn. Like we have this it's just a crazy time that, we can learn anything. If you want to know something, you can learn it. Even very cheaply, like a cheap SIM card in a third world country. Some of them, lots of people have access. But it's no longer about what you know. And what you know, or just what you know. What you know has value, but it's people want to see, what can you actually do? Now we're talking about students here, okay? What can you actually do with what you know? Because it's no longer enough just to know a lot of things. And that's why I say creativity over consumption. It's because I believe I believe everybody has this innate ability to be creative, and we just showcase it in different ways. And I'll give you one little fun thing. It is kind of creative, kind of maybe drive this point home, is when I'm on stage lately, and I'll probably do this at this event. So you get everybody, it's exclusive. You get to know now. I will usually use AI to make, because creative, but I'm using AI as a tool to help me create using my brain power. I will crowdsource from people in the audience. We'll make a skit about something common in a classroom, such as, I'll do one that's like, or maybe a skit about something common in a school, period. So conflict resolution. So let's say in the teacher workroom, we got to work through conflict resolution. Something happens in the workroom. One teacher steals another teacher's local, crowdsourced, people are kind of shouting it out to me, local stromboli from, Cool Daddy's pizza joint, whatever. And the other teacher is not happy about it, but I also say, I want you to include some Gen Alpha slang. I want you to include these vocabulary words. I want it to be silly, lighthearted, include some George Strait lyrics and context. And then I hit go, boom, a 2-person skit. It comes out. We act it out on stage. I use my brain. I use their brains. I used AI to expand and expedite the process of creating a skit. We act it out, and it's straight up magic, man. It's straight up magic. And so yeah, I could be reading a book all day, but what am I going to, I need to do something with it. I need to do something with the information. Creativity over consumption. Consumption's still okay. It's just not where the good magic's at, man.
It's not where the good magic is at. I like that. That you need that on a shirt too. That's not the good magic there. That's not the good magic. In a world where you just talked about this, how you're standing there on stage and you're getting it to you're getting all this info from the crowd, and AI can generate the information instantly. Are you saying that crowdsourcing, that human element, again, we're going back to the human, that is still the most valuable thing, isn't it?
Yeah, man. We're getting more people involved. It's still, people feel like they're part of something. And I had to be at school. I had to be at the conference. I had to be at the summit. You could have sent me the slides. People do that sometimes. Like, I couldn't make the conference, but I'm going to ask someone to send me the slides. I'm like, I'll send you some slides, but it's just got some pictures and maybe a couple quotes, and it's not going to do much for you. Like, you had to be there. You had to be there. And that's what I want school to be. I want class to be. I want that meeting to be. I want that conference to be. You had to be there because it was awesome. And no presentation or no PowerPoint in an email is ever going to replace it. Like, it's not going to be the same.
Not the same. You're right. I'm looking at your shirt right now, and I don't know who is on your shirt. At first, I thought it might have been you, and then I looked closer, and it's not you. Who is it?
All right, this is Stanley from the hit show The Office. And Stanley,
I see it now.
He's in his happy place. He likes to go to Florida. He's from PA, Scranton, PA. I talked to some new friends today from Pennsylvania, so I wore it. I didn't have a Kentucky shirt like with some chicken on it or anything, but or horses. Sorry, it's not just chicken. But
that's right. You're good. So that's who that is. And and in your videos, when I was saying, "Oh, I'm going to interview the Brian Buffington," and people were like, here at KDC, they were like, "No, which one's that?" I'm like, the one that does presentations. He wears the wild stuff, and he's energetic. Oh, that one. Oh, yeah, we can't wait to meet him. So that helped you stand out. And what that is, that's a creative element in its own. Now, today's election day in Kentucky, so I
You
read.
look good, man.
I wore red, white, and blue, but I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be known. I wanted everybody to know that I was out there, and that's that. It's to have that impact because people might remember what you say a little bit more when you stand out like that. And I love
Yeah,
what you're doing because you're
thank
standing
you.
out. That's me looking at you being the creative mind that you are.
Thank you. And it's just I want to feel good. It's just fun. It's just fun to wear fun shirts. I when I was not a very good science teacher a long time ago, like I told you, my wife bought me a lab coat. I'm an 8th grade science teacher. You don't just get a lab coat. And it said Buffington on it. And it made me feel it just made me feel like a boss. It was like, man, it made me feel professional. I'm teaching 8th graders about like rocks. I'm wearing a lab coat. But you know what? The kids would see me coming down the hallway because they would all have to kind of sit in the halls at our school. But they'd see me wear that lab coat, and they knew that day, it was going to be less about Mr. Buffington, and it was going to be more about them because it was a lab day, and it was going to be messy, and they can make more noise, and they like that.
I love that. You're right. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the truth. I guarantee it when they were looking at you. Fascinating. All right. A couple more questions, and then I'm going to let you get back to enjoying that sunshine because it looks beautiful. When you first got online with me, I was like, is he using a fake background too? Because mine is fake because I'm in an office setting and I didn't want to show all the stuff behind me. Well, it's not fake. It's a real lake here in Kentucky. But
No, this is just my backyard. It's got a little trampoline out there with a bunch of pine straw on it and old kid's fort back there. That's what that is.
I love it. I love it. Why should our educators, or this is open to anybody, but why should our educators here in Kentucky or anyone else, why do you think they should come to an AI conference? Obviously, you're going to be there. That's great, but this can help calm nerves, I think, in a lot of cases because we're going to have so many experts. But how do you feel?
Well, from my work, I'll be, so people understand a little bit where I get a lot of my ideas from. One of my favorite things to do is I have my newsletter. It's called Buff Nuggets, and it goes out every Tuesday in the morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, usually, unless I have something going on. But I share teachers' strategies using AI all the time. And so I invite and have 5,000 or 6,000 people who get my newsletter. And so I always ask, I'm like, teachers, what are you doing with AI? Is it really helpful? And sometimes they go, I hate AI. It's like, it makes me want to pull my hair out. Or most of them it's an educational technology newsletter. So most of them will say something like, I'm using it and it's very, very helpful. And in this instance, or maybe with science or with math, or it's very, very specific PE. I mean, who knows? And so when you come to a conference like this, my favorite kind of conference is when I get to hear strategies that are like real, like someone actually did this, someone's trying this in the classroom. And that's I know KEDC thrives on being authentic and giving teachers and leaders those opportunities to share. But that's I mean, I share a lot of my creativity, but I'm taking teachers' ideas. I'm just expounding on it with my my quirk. I have my other little mantra is work your quirk. And I like learning from others. So that's again why, Brian, why should people come to this conference? It's like you get to see other people's quirks, their energy, their love of education, which is could be bad enough, could be enough for somebody like, I got to go. I'm like, man, I'm on empty. My tank's on empty. Just make me feel good. Well, there's going to be some of that there, but a lot of people go, I need that thing. I need that one thing that might be enough to kind of get me excited about this or help my students. Like, what's that? How could I use AI in this very specific way? And you're going to get that. I mean, it's an AI summit, and you're going to get a lot of that from my work as well.
Let me ask you another question here. I've got tons for you, but do you feel like we have entered, and the news tells us this, and every article that comes up that we see, we've entered another historic period. This is going to be bigger than the Industrial Revolution. Do you feel like in education that this is like an educational revolution with the introduction of this coming into everyday life?
Yeah, I'm going to take, but I think the revolution's the mindset. I'm probably going to take like a minority mindset in this, and that people are going in all in on AI to do, like, people like, hey, maybe AI will teach us. Computer software is going to teach us. My teacher will be replaced with a robot. There's that kind of stuff. I think the real revolution is really the realization that it was never about the tech. It is the getting back to, because we already missed it. When I say missed it, I mean, we didn't miss the boat. Like, we longed for it. We longed for, because I talk to veteran teachers all the time, and they're like, it just isn't the same. What is it? Like, what's going on? And we've longed for some of those times and those experiences and things that we felt in the past, but for some reason have gotten away from us. And that's because of some of these new advancements with just technology in general, but also AI, but also social media and cell phone usage and access have really taken away from the true value and opportunity in classrooms. And some of you who are listening to this, like, you're like saying amen in your car or wherever you are, because you know what I'm talking about. Like, and how do we get back to that? That's this revolution, and AI might be the thing that help us realize what we've been missing. And it doesn't mean we don't use AI. This is an AI conference. Like, I'm using AI to do all kinds of cool stuff. It's a lot of fun. I'm also using AI to help me make the most of my time with the people I love.
You know what? It really has helped with that a lot. When I go, after I get finished with this interview with you, okay, for example, I have the software that I use now. Will go, and it will automatically find those short clips for me. It'll find those big moments, like you said.
Yeah.
Pause right here. Take this one. You said that a minute ago.
Yeah.
It's gonna find some for me, and
That's so cool.
saves me a bunch of time right there. And I can choose what I like or what I don't like. So it you know what, in a way, it does really give back to a person and their time doing other things.
And what does Jim do with it? Like, when you get that time, like, what's the thing that only Jim can do? Like, the thing that, what, AI or technology can help us do certain things, but there's some things that Jim, he gets the most value is when Jim does it. And that's where it's at, man. That's like when that teacher can spend 5 minutes talking to a student, calling mom, calling granddad, whoever. That's the stuff. Like, that has to be you. Like, don't send me a robocall like about my kid who's missed days. Like, I want to hear it means something if the teacher calls me.
Stands out more, and that way you almost feel like they're a little more concerned. That's absolutely right. All right, 10 years from now, what do you think the classroom looks like?
It's very tough. Like, I'm looking at enrollment across the nation, and it has to do. And this is, I'm going to get a little bit. Again, I don't have a lot of statistics, but this is like one I do know. I know the U.S. birth rate is down. I know that immigration is down, and so we're starting to see this trickle effect of lower enrollment, and that's on top of other. We have students have options. Students, I think in Kentucky, there's some options there. It's like, hey, you can attend this school system, or you go virtual, or it's all. I'm sweating, man. Look at that, sweating, glistening, baby.
You're out in the sun. Me too, and I'm on the inside.
And well, I'm just pumped up about it, man. And so I think in 10 years, our classrooms might, I don't know if they'll be smaller. I don't know, but I know that they will look different. They will look different. And I think that actually here, I got a projection for you. Ready? It just came to me.
Let's hear it.
And it's a little scary. And this has to do with our haves and have-nots. Haves, have-nots. What if the people with haves, the people with resources, school systems who have maybe more money or are more tax base, they get to have these classrooms I'm talking about today, these epic classrooms. Like, you got to go there. You know, it's all hands-on, it's interactive, you get to be with people, it's collaborative. And then you have the have-nots, and they're stuck with some kind of virtual prescriptive AI teacher. Maybe the AI teacher is like way different than it is today, and it's kind of like maybe nice and kind and says, you know, eat your breakfast every morning. It's kind of like, I don't know what it looks like, but I feel like that's all that we already have that in some kind of fashion here in our country. But I think if we're not careful, that can happen and that can expand. I don't want that.
You don't want that. You don't want that to expand. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't want people with resources to have all those beautiful things that I just spent 30 minutes talking to you about. And then we have a group of students who only get some kind of computer-based, AI-based education.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
All right. One last thing. I know I keep saying that, but I really mean it this time.
You like talking to me, man.
But you know, you're fascinating, and you've got some great insight on all this. So, if you could give all of the educators that are listening a piece of advice about this and about the future, what would you tell them about it all?
You know, I would say that students in 2026, students desperately need and long for human connection. I've had opportunity to do some work at my local church and work with teens in some different aspects. And we may be the most connected society ever, generation ever, but they are the most loneliest generation ever. And that's there may not be a school standard or test question for you, or you may not get graded on that as an educator, but that kind of stuff matters. And high majority, 99% of the educators I work with, they already see this. They know this. They may not have heard someone say it like I just did, but students come to school, they want to feel like they belong. They want to feel like someone cares for them. It's relevant, and they matter. That's what I got for you.
I like that. Brian, look forward to meeting you at the summit. That'll be at the Hyatt Regency in downtown Lexington on July 21st, 22nd. We would look forward to talking to you up close and personal, and then just feeling your energy, because I can feel it, and we're meeting virtually right now, but I can feel it already. So I can only imagine what it's like to be in that the auditorium when you're in there cranking it out.
It's gonna be great, man. Hey, Jim, this has been a lovely time, man. Thank you so much for having on me. What's the weather like?
You know, it's not as sunny and nice as it is there right now. We got some storms moving in as of this moment, but you know what? In July in Kentucky, it's just like it is down there in South Georgia. It's hot and humid, so that's what you can prepare for when we get here. All right.
I'll be
for
ready,
nothing.
man. I'll be
Thank you,
ready.
Brian.
Thanks, Jim.
It's Brian Buffington, y'all, and he'll be with us at our conference, our AI Summit, the second annual AI Summit for KEDC. That'll be coming up, like I said, July 21st, 22nd, and you can still register simply by clicking on, let me get our little thing to run across the top here, y'all, because I've got some of those too. Right there, you can still register for it. July 21st, 22nd at the Hyatt Regency. You can see the website KEDC-AI-Summit-2026.RSVPify. And if that's too much for you, I'm going to put up this QR code for a second, and you can scan it as well. And then you can get registered with us and come out and join us. A lot of fun. Lego's going to be there. Apple's going to be there. Pixel Play's going to be there. I mean, there's so many brands in tech that will be there, and you get this up close and personal meeting with them, and of course Brian too. So that right there seems like it's going to be worth the trip. Period. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great rest of your day.